Yo ho ho AFC South Roundtable. Welcome to another edition of the AFC South Roundtable. My name is Dan Mitchell. I'm filling in for the current host. And my oh my, do we have a show for you today? So do us a favor and smash that like button. It's super easy. It takes less than a second and helps this channel continuously grow. We love all the support that we get from the boys over at the AFC South. Let's go on ahead and start bringing in the guys, starting off with my absolute hero. There goes my hero. Titans Rossi, baby. Bring him in. He is my personal favorite. You are my favorite person on the face of the planet. Mostly because, people are like, Dan, why the hell is he your favorite? Because I'm a Bills fan, and he knocked down the Miami Dolphins. How you feeling today, my friend? Talk to me.
I'm feeling good, dude. I think, all of Titan Nation is feeling good. It's been a tough season. So, and to lose the way we did against the Colts last week and to be down, I mean, the first team since, since 2000, I want to say 2006 or something like that, that's came behind from 14 points in the last 3 minutes of a game. So it's like 727 NFL games or something. So, it feels good. I think this was a coming of age game for Will Levis. Everybody goes back to the Atlanta game when he came out and just threw 4 TDs and all this. I think this game was more important for his development. And I think it shows this guy has what it takes.
I'll tell you what, man. Listen, I am absolutely thrilled to unpack every single detail of this because I assure you half of America turned that game off at one point and was surprised to find out the Titans won this morning. I cannot wait to hear a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, we need to bring in third place, who unfortunately suffered a depressing loss to not only its staff, its players, thanks to MetLife Turf, our good friend Ruben.
Man.
What's going on, baby?
What's going on, baby? H-Town, Tola John. Yes, MetLife needs to be burned down. Burn it down. I am tired of this stadium. This is who the Houston Texans lost on Sunday. Nico Collins, CJ Stroud, Blake Cashman, Tavier Thomas, Will Anderson Jr. That's 5 starters who left this game. And, man, it was just horrible from the start. The worst L all season for the Houston Texans. There was no energy. I think this was the first time, and I think in a very long time we played in this type of weather. You would have not known it was 0-0 at halftime. But 30 points by the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, 300 yards. They haven't had a 300-yard quarterback in the past 16 games. Not a good day for the Houston Texans, man. But the good part is that the guys who you're competing with in the AFC South, they lost as well, except for the Tennessee Titans.
It's funny because that division literally stands in the exact same place as it did the week before, as you were telling me backstage. So no harm, no foul. I'll tell you what, listen, I want to hear from our Colts representative. Eric, bring the juice. Bring my man in.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, I mean, man, Ruben, you and I are feeling it, bro. We get it. It was a rough one, but hey, listen, you have some of these bad games. Indy really had a bunch of people out for this game as well. I'm not going to say that's ultimately the reason we lost. We stunk. I'm willing to admit it. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're a better team right now than what I think a lot of people are giving them credit for because they put Indy down real easy, and it was not a good one for us. I will say this, though. Listen, we still in the playoffs. We're still right where we need to be. Can still control our own destiny. And listen, I know we're about to talk about the Tennessee Titans today because that's the big one. Rossi, man, I've never seen such a fan base be so happy about a win that is virtually meaningless. I'm just willing to say that right now. And then on top of it all, it took Will Levis 3 times the action to finally score more touchdowns than Anthony Richardson. Congratulations, sir. Great job.
Oh. Wow, he is coming in hot. All right, let's just look at this as a preview of what to expect this evening, guys. Smash that like button because we have to bring in the leader of the division, a man that has a quarterback that wildly has recovered from a high ankle sprain in record time, goes out and starts that next game. Let's bring in Dalton, UCF Jaguar. What's going on?
Yo, what it do, bro? Hey, guys, another week of being at the very top all by ourselves. Look, the Jaguars are unfortunately in a little bit of a drought, but hey, the rest of the AFC South wants to do us a favor and lose. I mean, the Jaguars are trying to make this division a little bit more interesting, but another week of being at the top. And look, with 4 games left, the Jaguars own the tiebreaker, so we basically have like a 2-game lead on this division right now. So time is running short for any of these teams to try to catch up to us. So it's going to be a fun end of the season. And while we have a 2-game losing streak, I'm still feeling good about this team.
Surprisingly enough, say, for example, that you were to tell me that the AFC South would be one of the most competitive divisions, not only in the AFC, but in the league at the beginning of the season, I would have called you absolutely insane. But here we are. The energy is here, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, we have an incredible show for you today. Obviously, we are going to be recapping, for the most part, a pretty sad week for the AFC South outside of the Titans, my absolute heroes. Thank you for that. And then we're getting into game previews, among other things. So smash that like button once again if you haven't already. Before we get into the recaps, guys, we need to go on ahead and we need to drop a giant announcement. Maybe you have heard us tease this, right? But as you know, the AFC South has recently dropped some merchandise. And we have been releasing several graphic tees, perhaps some of your personal favorite players. Well, guess what? We now have these t-shirts, these high-quality, heavyweight, beautiful tees for each and every single team of the AFC South. And we're going to introduce them to you right damn now. And honestly, this is the first time that these guys have seen these as well. And I need their initial feedback. So let's go on ahead and start from the division down. Please bring up the hero of the day, Mayonnaise boy Will Levis. Let's bring him up. Look at that. Look at that. Rossi.
Beautiful.
Tell me your thoughts on this. Is there anything you wish was included that you did not see in this shirt right here?
I mean, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's obviously the best shirt out of the entire bunch. And I think it's a fantastic job by you guys. And I think it's, it's obviously a lot better than the Anthony Richardson one, which I don't even know why, he should have put Minshew on there, but it is what it is. Beautiful shirt, guys. Appreciate it. I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what, listen. Solid up. So me personally, I probably would have put that image of him eating the banana, but I mean, all in all, beautiful shirt. CJ Stroud. I know for a fact Ruben hasn't seen this one. So this is a raw reaction from what we have right here. CJ Stroud action. Let's zoom in on that as well. Let's go into the full image of this bad boy. Let's check out this as much as we oh my God.
Dude, that is absolutely heat, man. You see, here's the thing. When I buy an article of clothing, my number one question is, can I wear this to the club? And yes, I can. It matches these beautiful new ever fitteds that I got on. That is absolutely fire, man. Hey, I'm going to get maybe 4 or 5 of those. Shout out to you guys. That is absolutely amazing. And a great shirt for the greatest quarterback in the AFC South. I love it.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I mean, I love the design is what it is. I'll tell you what. Let's take a look at this Anthony Richardson one because I haven't even seen this one.
I haven't seen these either.
We haven't seen Anthony Richardson at all.
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, funny injury.
Hey, for example, you miss Anthony Richardson. This is the best thing you could possibly do. What do you think, Derek?
Man, that looks clean, dude. I love it. That looks real clean. I mean, I only wish that we could have gotten the graphic of Anthony Richardson doing his 360 spin and spike on the in the end zone against Houston, man. That would have been a great pick there to add there in that corner. But man, I'll tell you what, I love that. That's really cool. I'm gonna have to order a bunch of those, and now I'm gonna go ahead and start giving them away to some lucky Colts fans for sure. That's really awesome, man. I love it.
Oh, man, love to hear. And guys, say for example that you are interested in this. That link is actually pinned at the top of this channel in case you wanted to peruse around Roundtable sports merchandise. Last but not least, I'm pretty sure Dalton hasn't even seen this one either. All right, these are raw reactions. Trevor Lawrence.
Dude, I love it, man. I gotta say, unfortunately, I won't be able to wear this out in public because I am a married man, and I don't want the ladies swarming me when I wear this thing. So, I'll probably just wear it around the house. I'll wear it in YouTube videos, but that's a lady killer right there. Okay, but yeah, it's sick. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence gear is the best. I have a bunch of it. I mean, like he's that dude, man. He's that dude. Look, I've been a Jags fan for a long time, and this team didn't start winning until we got him. Okay, and we're winning AFC South Division titles with him. It's a good time. So you guys are gonna want to get your hands on this hot piece.
Man, for some reason, I just feel like the show is about to be all four of these guys just going at each other's throats, just based off of like merch reviews, which is a beautiful thing. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, those graphic tees are obviously absolutely sick, but I will tell you what, you do have an opportunity since Roundtable Sports is doing a merchandise giveaway. That is right. You have the opportunity of either winning a beautiful beer mug, let's be honest with ourselves, a nice little pint glass, or a coffee cup, one of the two with that logo on top of it. And let me tell you how you can enter this, all right? What you're going to do So what you will notice is that Roundtable Sports, our regular YouTube channel, which is going to be covering the entire NFL. This is all of the Roundtable Sports personalities. Some of your favorites on this show will be representing on that channel by itself. What you need to do is go subscribe right to this YouTube channel and then leave a comment on our very first game show called 3 and Out, which aired last night. An absolute piece of beauty. Just go on ahead and leave a comment and just say the AFC South Roundtable sent you, something along those lines. And we are going to pick one of those random comments and you will receive a free beer mug. It's a great show, guys. Listen, super excited about that. You will see Dalton actually representing on the second episode. And Derek, my sincerest apologies, that wheel is now done. All right. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Listen. I feel like last episode, Derek had a bunch of incredible takes, but he ended up getting eliminated just due out of pure chance. It was certainly not what we were. It was certainly not what we were expecting.
And then, of course, we had this dude right here making it worse for me. And I thought we were supposed to be together in AFC South camaraderie here.
Hey, I was with you, and then you got eliminated first, and I was just like, "Come on, bro, you gotta represent us better than that, man."
Oh my gosh, it was the wheel. It was the wheel.
So one instance is going to be the refs, and a game show is going to be the wheel. You can't just blame everything. You got to take accountability, bro.
Oh my
but on a real though, yeah, you did a good job. I'll say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys,
that's the nicest thing that's going to be said in this episode.
Yeah, but guys, hey, seriously, definitely go check out that merch from there. And definitely sign up for that contest. One last announcement, and then let's just get into business. Ladies and gentlemen, after only a couple of episodes, this channel is officially monetized. You know what that means? That means that in case any of you want to ask a question and then also support the channel, simply just go on ahead and send in a quick super chat if you have a question or a comment for any of the hosts in this situation. As Ricardo Green, Bills fan, comes in already with a donation. Hey, Dan, thank you from the Buffalo Titans. I'm not going to lie to you, Titans, Rossi. I did say on my stream this morning, I said that Bills Mafia owed an appearance to the show this evening to thank you for your charity work of downing that. So expect quite a bit of that. Ricardo, thank you so much. But guys, say, for example, that you want to donate to the channel and ask one of the hosts a question, certainly feel free to do so. But we all know the absolute best way to support is quite simply just by smashing the ever-living fuck out of that like button. All right, guys. It was a week. It was certainly a week. You know what? And I will say that we were one Monday night football game away from having perhaps the saddest episode of the AFC South Roundtable of all time. All right? But we still need to talk about it. And I'll tell you what. I feel like we're going to go from the division leader and then all the way down. So obviously we need to discuss the Jacksonville Jaguars game and the Cleveland Browns. The Joe Flacco led, that geriatric, just going out there, doing his thing. Dalton, I do want to hear your take on the specific game, but I also sort of want you to lead with the fact that there was an injury the week before, and then it looked like that Trevor was struggling a bit. Was that high ankle sprain the reason behind that? And then let's hear your take on the overall game.
No, I mean, the reason behind the loss wasn't because of Trevor Lawrence's ankle. And I was actually pretty surprised with his ankle. I mean, he was able to run around really well, and he didn't really look limited at all. Look, there's no excuses over here. The reason why we lost is just because we got outplayed by the Browns. But right now the Jaguars are on a 2-game losing streak. When you look at this thing, from afar, honestly, the Jaguars lost to a pretty good Bengals team in overtime and then lost by 3 or 4 to a pretty good Browns team. But, there are concerns going on with the Jaguars right now. One is the fact that the Jaguars do not have any kind of a run game going right now. I mean, they don't even try to run it between the tackles. I mean, the amount of times the Jaguars go with a single back set and just try to power run it, it's gone now. Now we just have to run from shotgun to the outside. And, on a 3rd and 1 from the Jaguars' own 30-yard line, I think it was, they went empty backfield and threw it deep. I mean, they have no faith in the run game right now. Now, granted, this was the 3rd game in a row where one of our left tackles went down. We are extremely injured there. Christian Kirk being hurt and out of the game just really sucks for us, but it left room for Evan Ingram to have an incredible game with over 10 receptions and 2 touchdowns this game. And the Jaguars offense was able to kind of put up points, but it is concerning. And our defense is playing some undisciplined football right now, not wrapping up and just not playing physical. It's just a little bit annoying, but I've seen the Jaguars defense play good. I am not super concerned right now about the Jaguars because there's certain moments where teams peak and teams dip. There was a time where you saw the Buffalo Bills were awful. Now they're playing good football. The 49ers were once on a 3-game losing streak, and now they look like the best team in the NFL. And you have teams like the Lions that look good at one point. They've lost 2 out of their last 3. And there's teams out there, even the Eagles got blown out in 2 straight games. So I'm hoping that, the Jaguars can go back to old form. They're going through a little bit of a rough patch, but with 4 games left, they have the Ravens on Sunday Night Football, which will be tough. And then you have the Bucks, Panthers, and Titans. Finish the season off with 3 losing teams. We got to hope that in these games we find a way to get our team going again and team to look back to the way they used to look. But it sucks that the Jaguars lost this one. It's a 2-game losing streak. It's unfortunate, but I do think that the Jaguars finish off strong.
Interesting. Very interesting. We did actually end up getting a new super chat coming on in saying that Trevor is better than Stroud, who lost to Carolina. From Trevor to Lawrence is him. Thank you so much for that donation. Ruben, a quick rebuttal.
I keep hearing all this generational talk, and he threw 3 interceptions on Sunday, which is one of his worst performances of the year. I don't want to hear that. CJ Stroud is just a rookie.
CJ Stroud looks sick on Sunday.
We have ever seen in history. CJ Stroud is him, ladies and gentlemen, right? He doesn't.
Trevor threw 3 touchdowns. How many did CJ throw?
Oh man.
Bro, we're having a mid-off. We both lost, dude. What are we talking about here?
You're over here. I can't have you talking about my quarterback like this.
2 deep balls, and and it overset and it got intercepted. The other one, your wide receiver who you traded for, the head's not in the game, gets picked off. 3 interceptions. That's not generational. Lost this week. Lost last week.
So that's your overall take of the game, Ruben, or is there anything else you would like to add on your overall thoughts of the Cleveland Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 14?
The fact that Joe Flacco was doing this is absolutely insane. But with the Jacksonville defense giving up back-to-back games of 300-plus yards to opposing quarterbacks, like UCF said, they're not playing good football right now. That's very good for the Houston Texans, man. We have to win out as well as the Indianapolis Colts, but as we said in the pregame show, that we are in the exact same spot as we were last week. So it's going to be tough from here on out. But Jacksonville, tough loss. Generational quarterback, don't see it.
Oh, ouch. Titans Rossi. What are your thoughts on that game, man?
I think I watched UCF. I watched your breakdown earlier of the game too, and it is insane. Ruben, you're right. I mean, Joe Flacco, I didn't even know the guy was still around, really. I mean, he comes in, plays a decent game, and I was surprised. surprised that the game was the way it was. I mean, it never really seemed like, as far as I watched like the highlight reel on YouTube and stuff, and saw a lot of it, but it never really seemed like the Jags were in it. You know what I mean? Like they kind of got close towards the end. It was 21-14, and Cleveland goes up. But I guess Cleveland is a pretty good team. And honestly, I thought the Jags was going to win this game. I really did. I mean, with Joe Flacco starting, I just figured Cleveland was going to fold, but they didn't. You know what I mean? As far as the whole Trevor Lawrence and Stroud argument and all that stuff, I mean, I guess that's the cool part of where we're at in the South is, we got these younger quarterbacks who are finally starting to do something. But you got to look at. I know you said the ankle injury wasn't the issue. It had to play somewhat of a part, but also, the wide receiver out there, my mind's drawing a blank, that y'all traded for Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing out there. Like he seems to make some of these mistakes sometimes, and it seems like the trade is coming back to bite y'all on the butt at this point. But I don't know the full story behind it.
Yeah, no, it's been bad with Calvin Ridley, and honestly, at this point, he's a net negative because he's out there. He drops crucial passes. I mean, Ruben saw him drop 2 touchdown passes against him in each game, and then last game he runs like a slant route and doesn't look at the quarterback, and it goes right by his head and intercepted. It's there's times where it's like it's one thing like if maybe he misses a block and a running back gets hit, but it's another thing when you have these crucial plays where he's causing interceptions or he's causing turnovers, and he's just, it hasn't been good. I don't know what's up with him, but that trade did not wind up working out for us.
And so he's been a massive disappointment to me in fantasy football. Derek, how you feeling about this Jags-Browns game, my friend?
Well, it was great to see the Jags lose. It's unfortunate the Colts couldn't capitalize on it. But again, y'all got another tough one this next week, which we're sure to talk about. I thought it was interesting because, I mean, the Browns, by all means, I could not expect Joe Flacco to look as good as he did. And it was a high-scoring game. And that was very strange for me because even when Lawrence was playing, I was like, man, this is probably going to be like a 23, 20 ball game at most. Because I thought, both of these defenses were going to figure it out against these guys. But it ended up being kind of a shootout. It came very close to being one of those. So, again, neither defense was really able to hold off on the other. It's just which team made more mistakes down the stretch. And I didn't get to watch a lot of the game. I watched the very end of it when Jacksonville had a chance to come back. And like UCF said, I'm surprised at the mobility that Trevor Lawrence had. I mean, there was times he was running for yardage at the end of that game. I mean, obviously the adrenaline was kicking in, but yeah, it's so strange to see how Calvin Ridley, who was a guy that like a few years ago was talked about as one of the most underappreciated wide receivers in all of the NFL, and to now hear UCF keep talking about him like as if he's like as if he's the Amari Cooper of the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is like he gets all of his stuff in garbage time or just times when it doesn't come in the clutch, and it just doesn't seem to translate much to overall success of the offense. So it's very strange. But yeah, I'm glad the Browns ended up winning it. It's just too bad that neither Ruben or I could have had a chance to capitalize on such opportunity.
And so any last comments, Dalton, right before we move on?
No, I got nothing. Got a big Sunday nighter against the Ravens, but hey, we're in a little bit of a slump. But if we didn't get blown out, we lost to a couple of good teams that very well may be in the playoffs, and we might get revenge against them. You know what I mean? So it should be fun to see how it plays out.
Love to absolutely hear it. Well, all right. So from one heartbreak to another, Derek lost to the Jake Browning-led Cincinnati Bengals. What happened, man?
I don't even know, man. Like, I was at that game, and to be there and to watch that performance was ridiculous. I mean, it was crazy to think, for as bad as Indy played through the first half, we were tied with the Cincinnati Bengals at 14 apiece at halftime because Indy scored a touchdown late in the second quarter to make it a one-score game. And then our kicker, who missed a field goal earlier in the game, and he hadn't missed, I don't think he had missed more than 2 field goals all year long. And this was one that was inside of 50. Like, this is something that this dude's automatic at making. And he misses it wide. And then he misses the extra point. And then 3 plays later, Indy gets a pick 6 and then ends up, getting the 2-point conversion, and you tie it going into half. And so I'm thinking, okay, we played terrible, but at least we're tied. We have a chance to maybe see something going. But then just as the game went on, the Colts could not do absolutely anything, guys. We couldn't pass the ball consistently. Michael Pittman was once again the only consistent guy. Gardner Minshew was not hitting the guys down the field that he needed to hit. Josh Downs was wide open on a wheel route, beat the linebacker that was guarding him in the flat, and it would have been a touchdown had Gardner Minshew thrown it, and he didn't. And then Alec Pierce did not get involved. Just last week, when he had his best game, maybe, of his entire career, 3 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown against the Tennessee Titans, and then you end up seeing that performance, and he didn't really get involved at all. And then, again, the throws were not great. We couldn't run the ball consistently. We couldn't pass block or run block efficiently. And then on the defensive side, the pass rush, who those 4 games prior to that had 21 sacks, failed to sack Jake Browning 1 time. And again, it's because our defensive coordinator, when he sees that we don't have pressure, just says, I'm not going to blitz. I'm just going to let the front 4 do whatever. And we couldn't do that. We couldn't slow down the run. We're missing a couple guys on defense that were making it difficult. We couldn't get pressure on Jake Browning. And then our special teams was the egg of it all. We ended up having, like I said, an extra point that was missed, 2 field goals that were missed. And then on top of it all, when you had any chance of maybe coming back, being down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, you got the Bengals to punt, and then the ball hits one of the gunners in the middle of the field, and Isaiah McKenzie doesn't get it, and then the Bengals get the ball at the 15-yard line. So it's you beat yourselves. Literally, there is nothing else to say about it. The Colts were just not there. They were just not prepared. They weren't playing like the team we had seen win 4 games prior to that. And, I mean, you lost the game fair and square.
So I'll tell you what, right before we go across the panel and get their take, does that performance make you lose any confidence for the rest of the season for your ability to win out? I mean, you have the Steelers next week, then the Falcons, the Raiders, and then the Texans, who fell victim to MetLife Stadium. Has your confidence level changed at all for the remainder of your schedule?
I'd be lying if I said that I didn't think a little bit differently of this team after that. Of course, like you said yesterday with me, and we all know it, the Colts have a very favorable schedule for the remainder of the year. Again, Steelers are playing terrible. The Falcons are not an amazing team. The Raiders are not an amazing team. We're getting some of our players back this week that are really going to help us with depth purposes. And I believe in Shane Steichen. I've seen what Shane Steichen's done with this team. I do think that we're going to correct it. Now, I mean, it was one of those things where opponents prior, our weaknesses were not as bad. The Bengals were able to exploit our weaknesses, and that was why we lost so badly. So, I mean, like I said, do I still think we can make the playoffs? Absolutely. I mean, we definitely still have a really great shot at it, but I definitely am a little bit more nervous now with just how bad they were on Sunday.
Hey, Dalton, what do you think about your second place counterpart?
I mean, look, none of their units showed up this game. I mean, 34-14. But I will say, I'm tired of people saying that, oh my God, you guys lost to Jake Browning. I know firsthand, Jake Browning is actually playing some pretty good quarterback out there.
I concede to that too.
He is, and look, honestly, the Bengals have a pretty good team right now, and they actually are playing pretty well now that, they have T. Higgins back from injury. So yeah, with them, but the Colts, I mean, look, they unfortunately just didn't show up today or yesterday or Monday or Sunday, whenever the game was. They didn't show up whenever it was. Like I said, dude, Gus Bradley absolutely needs to go. His defense is so we're not 2008 Seattle anymore. You know what I mean? That those days are gone when it comes to running that cover 3 defense. And, with the Colts, we'll see how they finish up. I honestly don't have a lot of belief in them. I think that they do eventually get booted out by a couple of the hotter teams that are behind them. Like, I believe that the Bills will probably take their place at some point. But with the Indianapolis Colts, not a great game by any side of the ball. I don't think they scored a single point in the second half. And it's unfortunate with all that was at stake this game to kind of go out there and show that. But they came up against the red hot Cincinnati Bengals team. And look, they were just flat out outcoached, outplayed, and they weren't able to come away with it.
Ruben, what do you think, man?
Well, it's good to see another division guy lose. However, I was worried. I was score watching. I was watching the Jags and I was watching the Colts game as well. And, 14-14 and a half, yes, it was ugly football, but you're thinking, the Colts could grind this out like they've done all year. But no, Jake Browning, absolutely, he doesn't have a 300-yard game, but a solid day through the air, 2 touchdowns. Their running back, Brown, I think he had 3 catches for 80 yards, takes a screen all the way to a touchdown. Like, where was the Colts defense that we known? But just no one showed up, and kind of fun to see as a Houston Texans fan. You know how our day went. You see how the Jags day went. And then with the Colts, I thought, that was going to be a close game. I thought the Jaguars weren't going to play Trevor Lawrence. However, they did. Shout out to him. But to see the Colts lose this game, go absolutely scoreless in the second half, crazy, crazy. However, we got to meet them in week 18. So kind of want to hold the shit talking because it's the Houston Texans haven't been that good in Indy the past couple of years, but fun to see them lose.
And last but not least, Titans Rossi, your thoughts on your AFC South rival?
Yeah, I think you're seeing the last couple games too. The run game has been horrible for the Colts. And, that's since Jonathan Taylor's been out. Zach Moss, he had a heck of a start to the season, before Taylor came back, and, he had a heck of a game against us. And it wasn't just a good game against us. He had some good games against other teams as well. And for whatever reason, the run game is just not working for them. And I don't think Minshew has enough to really take them places. I mean, if they don't have a run game, then what do they got? They got Minshew mania, which, it doesn't really have the mania anymore behind them. Like, I think Gardner Minshew is one of those guys. He can win you. I don't know if he can win you a game. He can come in for a couple games, play pretty decent. He's kind of got moments where he'll make these awesome passes and stuff like that, but it just fell apart for the Colts this Sunday. And, yes, they have Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not playing fantastic, obviously, with Trubisky and all that. They got Atlanta coming up. They got Las Vegas, Houston. It's not easy heading out for the Colts. Like, there's so much parity right now. There's 6, 7, and 6 teams. And you got to look at the Bengals. The Bengals are hot right now, and Browning is playing damn good football. I mean, with Jamar Chase, things are starting to come together. Now, hopefully, I don't know what Browning's injury is. They said it's not real serious or something.
He came back in the game at the end, so.
Okay, so he came back. So, I mean, obviously he's good, But the Bengals are a team to look out for. And you got teams like Buffalo, and you got all these other teams that are in contention. It's super tight right now in that wild card race. And I don't know. I don't know if the Colts can hang with those guys. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because of Gardner Minshew leading at the helm,
All right. Oh, Ruben, dude.
Saw that one earlier.
It's
this guy's like a hater, bro. Like he's an
bro, we
man. He's
haven't played Jags fans in 2 weeks, and they just cannot keep our names out their mouths, dude. Living rent-free in the dome, that's okay. And I see all the comments saying, like, oh, the Houston Texans we weren't supposed to be here. I'm not forgetting, supposed to be the worst team with the worst roster in the NFL. That's Carolina, man. But that's okay. The only
team I'm worried about when it comes to taking our spot right now is the Bengals, because honestly, Ruben, all due respect, bro, you're going to lose next week. And when it comes to the Broncos, I don't trust them. I know they've been playing like pretty good football, but I think they're going to find a way to lose it. Dan, listen, bro, I love you, but your team's got one hell of a schedule to have to finish with. That one's rough. So, I mean, the Bengals are literally the only team left that I fear as competition that actually has a very winnable schedule amongst all the AFC teams that are 7-6 right now, that actually has a good chance of dethroning Indianapolis just with schedule and just overall player analysis right now. So that's it.
Interesting. And hey, Ruben, you know what, man? He's not done. And so Trevor Lawrence's Sim sent in $10 and said, Ruben is a huge casual. If the Jacksonville Jaguars could catch like Tank Dell and Collins, this isn't a topic. Trevor is generational. Look at his profile as a player from high school to now, bro. He's an op. And then Tank Dell carried Stroud. So like, bro.
I love it.
Like you, Ruben.
Tank Dell, a third-round pick, carried CJ Stroud.
This guy said if the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receivers could catch like Tank Dell and Nico Collins, Broheem, they have Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk, who's getting paid $21 million a year. What are we talking about here?
Dude, I don't even need to talk to this Trevor Lawrence guy. Is taking care of all the shit talk for me.
I mean, he's not saying anything, right?
Well, to be fair, Calvin really can't catch. That's been our big issue.
Calling someone who
can't
never
catch
cracked
balls.
1,000 yards, and now he has 1,000 yards this year with CJ Stroud first year as his QB. Man, he's him. Keep on hating on CJ Stroud, and he's gonna shit on your teams every time he plays.
Dude, I haven't said. Dude, the thing is, I don't say anything bad about CJ Stroud. I actually think he's good. You're the one that says Trevor Lawrence is a fraud and isn't good and don't. And like the thing is, it's a little brother complex. It's a little brother complex. You can't respect the guy above you, but I can respect all you guys below me. I can sit here and say, look, CJ Stroud's doing pretty good. He's having a really good rookie year. Will Levis had a hell of a Sunday night. It was a Will Levis masterclass. I don't know. I'm afraid if I talk about Anthony Richardson, he's going to hurt his ankle or something like that. He's going to get another injury. But
he completed 60% of his passes. Let's not talk like as if it was a masterclass performance, okay? They did just
Didn't you get a 1 million view video shitting on Stroud?
He threw for over 300 yards for the first time all season and couldn't even complete 60% of his passes. Let's not go.
And dude, I made that video 5 minutes after the game ended, after Houston fans filled, and they're still on my mentions. That Clayton guy was talking crazy to me on Twitter. I've got Houston Texans fans coming at me every day.
We don't claim that one.
Now I had to put him out there for a minute.
We don't claim that one.
My God. Well, hey, Ruben, you know what? I mean, we might as well just make you the man of the hour here because we need to discuss the Jets game. Okay? So tell us your exact thoughts of what went down during that game.
It was probably the worst game of the season. The Houston Texans did not show up at all. You know, you would have never thought the game was 0-0 at halftime. It was the first time we get to see this offense with that Tank Dell, and then we lost Nico Collins. We already entered the game without Dalton Schultz and Titus Howard and multiple Houston Texans starters, but you still got to play the game. The Jets absolutely whipped your ass. They were just getting to CJ Stroud. He was pressured 40% of the time. None of these backup wide receivers could get open. Noah Brown, he was targeted 5 times. 4 of them hit him right in the face. John Mechie, 5 targets, only 1 catch. Just not a good day for the Houston Texans offense. And what was crazy to see was Devin Singletary was averaging 5 yards a carry. He only rushed about 13 times for 65 yards. Why go away from him? You want to give carries to Dameon Pierce, and Dameon Pierce, at this point, I am over him. I do not want to see him for the rest of the year. This is a guy who runs into his own blockers, which is sad to say, because last year Dameon Pierce was on fire. And to see this type of performance is absolutely horrible to watch. And then you let Zach Wilson go off for 300 yards. That's why I don't really want to talk about the rain, because one quarterback had a career day. The other one only had 91 yards. And Zach Wilson, I mean, the Jets haven't seen a 300-yard quarterback in the past 16 games. And for him to do that and just have all the time in the world back there, even though he, it does say that he was sacked 3 times, there was no pressure on Zach Wilson. He was escaping the pocket, making this defense look silly. Our captain, Jimmy Ward, was snagged down by the tight end Conklin, and one of the worst losses of the year. DeMeco Ryan said it himself. You do not deserve to win the game the way you went out there and played, and just not what you wanted, because you think the Jets 5-game losing streak, we have our fate in our hands, and you should have won this game, yet you get absolutely murdered, 30-6. And like I said, all 3 phases of the football game was won by the New York Jets. Their kickers, Greg the Leg, just absolutely goes off for 3 or 4 field goals. A tough watch, man. A tough watch. And I was live streaming the game. And, no excuses. I don't want to throw the injury or the rain out there. You just got beat by an elite defense, and you cannot stop Zach Wilson.
I'll tell you what, man. That MetLife turf will absolutely kill ya. Titan Rossi, your thoughts on that Texans game?
Rossi, you're muted, bro.
Oh, my bad. It's unbelievable, all the injuries from that game. And I feel your pain, Ruben, because the Titans have definitely had their injury bug. Luckily, this year it has not been as bad, but we were the most injured team for the last 2 years, other than this year. I think the one year we broke an NFL record for injuries, and collectively over 2 years as well. And to have all those players go out like that is incredible. But right now this game was insane. I mean, for Zach Wilson, 27 for 36, 300 yards, 2 TDs. It was just insane that the Texans could not do anything to stop him. Breece Hall was killing them in the pass game, especially. Garrett Wilson making all types of plays. It's just insane to see. It's crazy to see teams like the Jets and the Titans do this to teams every so often. And I tweeted it during the game, like that and I'm going back to the Titans, but relates to the Jets, I guess. But I tweeted it during the game when the Dolphins go up 27-13 or whatever. We're a bad team. This is what bad teams do. And then we come back and score. But it's the Jets defense. I mean, they're a good defense. The Titans should have been a really good defense this year. All the names that they have and everything. And it's just crazy. If the Jets had an offense, if they had Aaron Rodgers, no telling where they would be. But here we stand, the Jaguars still on top. Everybody loses that really matters in the AFC South at this moment. And you got the battle between the Colts and the Texans. And I think, if Stroud is in there, Ruben, I think if Stroud is in there and you guys can somehow get a receiver, I don't know what the real issue is with the injuries with Nico and I know Tank and everything, but if you guys can get a playmaker in there, I think you still got a shot.
Well, just like we just got to see who's available. We haven't heard an update on Nico Collins, but a calf injury, I am expecting 2 to 3 weeks. Dalton Schultz, he suffered a hamstring injury 2 weeks ago. It hasn't been put on IR, but the Texans did the same thing with Captain Jimmy Ward. He suffered a hamstring injury against Tampa Bay. It didn't play for about 4 or 5 weeks. I did a video about going out there to see who's available on the street to bring in and try to help either CJ Stroud or Davis Mills, because right now CJ Stroud is in concussion protocol and it's usually hard for you to pass that in 1 week and play on Sunday. It might be Davis Mills going up against the Tennessee Titans. Mills Mafia, stand up, dude.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. But hey, you know what? This is the AFC South. I want to hear Derek talk about them damn Texans.
Ruben, hey, listen, nothing made me feel happier than to see the MILF Hunter destroy y'all in the way that he did, man. I loved it. And you know what? I was sitting there in that stadium. I was looking across my way. I'm thinking to myself, it's 0-0 at halftime. Man, this is starting to spew some bad stuff here for the Houston Texans. I look at it, 11 drives, 11 punts in the first 11 drives. That's ridiculous. All right. And it's crazy. And again, I know a lot of people are giving CJ Stroud the flack for this. Listen, at the end of the day, Zach Wilson just had the best game of his entire NFL career so far against you guys, against the Texans defense, who, by the way, before this game was being talked about as a top 10 defense in the entire NFL, regardless if you lose your quarterback, your best weapons, all that stuff. For that defense to give up what it did to Zach Wilson in that time, that is definitely not something that can be tolerated if you're the Houston Texans, because the offense had an excuse. You had CJ Stroud go out late in the game. They didn't have their best weapons. They don't know how to run the football efficiently. It's one of those situations where you guys definitely had your worst game of your entire season. It's not even a question. And it definitely leaves a lot more to be desired with, I mean, you know, if you guys going to be missing a lot of these players, man, maybe for multiple weeks, that's going to be tough. Now I'm starting to think that Titan Rossi might actually start making some noise with them Tennessee Titans here. Hey, yo, Rossi, any chance that y'all end up sweeping these guys?
Oh, hell no.
I think y'all do.
You know,
I think y'all do.
All right. Give me that.
This week is Oiler week.
Disgusting.
It's throwback week.
Claim
So,
that.
you know,
Absolutely disgusting that you guys claim that. Seattle shouldn't be able to. I'm sorry, the Thunder shouldn't be able to wear the Seattle Sonics uniform. You guys should not be able to wear the old school Houston Oilers uniform.
You guys should have lost them.
Huh?
Oh,
You guys are the ones that lost them.
oh.
Should have kept them in town.
Hey,
No.
hey, Vince, this is a preview for
If
our
they wanted to keep the name, they should still be named the Oilers.
It's-
No, they're the Tennessee Titans.
Well,
It's
now
gotta
you're the
be-
Texans, so you guys have an insurance policy. When teams leave, they got to change the name now.
Man, dude, like, I want y'all to know how deep Oilers is here in H-Town. Like, back then, the cop cars used to be painted, Oiler blue. And you would see everyone rocking the Love You Blue area. I mean, that is sacred here in Houston. And to see the Tennessee Titans, to see DeAndre Hopkins, former Houston Texan, wear that uniform, it's absolutely disgusting to see. Head coach DeMeco Ryans talked about that earlier today. He said he doesn't like seeing it, and it's giving him some extra motivation for this Sunday. We are calling this here in Houston the DeMeco Ryans game. He is going to definitely outcoach Mike Vrabel. And the Houston Texans, despite all these injuries, are going to walk into Tennessee and rip that damn Oiler rig off that helmet and take it home with them.
Oh, man, let's save it for the preview segment. That's just a nice little taste. Dalton, thoughts on that Texans-Jets game real quick, right before we talk about.
I mean, you guys are going kind of easy on the Texans, man. You guys realize that the Jets going into this game were like one of the worst offenses this NFL has ever seen. I mean, it's not even like they're bad this year. This is like a historically bad offense that the Jets are putting out there. And look, they gave you guys the beats by Dre, man. They put up 27 points on you guys last game. And your offense didn't do anything. I mean, only accounted for 6 points this game. Just an overall bad showing up there in New York. So, I mean, we'll see what happens next week. I mean, look, you guys have been, I give you guys credit. Y'all been putting together some winning streaks, but I think this kind of humbled your fan base a little bit, maybe humbled CJ Stroud a little bit. Just overall, it was a rough day up in New York. Let's see if they can bounce back.
Oh, my God. And you know what, Ruben? I'm sorry, man, but your op number 1 came back. And why don't you read this aloud for us?
Bro said I'm rent-free when every week he's saying something about T-Law. I'm not a Jags fan, Clemson fan who's not letting some casual fan of a well-known trash organization talk about my quarterback. Texans are nobodies and really is trash. Who is living more rent-free? And someone said someone who does YouTube and talks about, how bad other players are, or someone who's been the sponsor for this stream the entire show. I'm in your head, Trevor Lawrence is him. Keep on donating as much as you want to. I need a new mug over here. So keep on doing that, man. I'm living rent-free in your head. The Texans are living rent-free in Jaguars' heads.
Oh, man. Well, hey, listen, we definitely appreciate all the donations. It goes a long way. And Ruben is not the only one.
Ty,
Finally.
Ty, I've seen you in my streams, bro. I've seen you in my streams. You know what? I'm not even mad at that they saying this.
Read it. You got to read it, bro.
And listen, the only reason everybody says it is just simply because Anthony Richardson got hurt. Like, I love that that's the argument. It's not even the fact that Anthony Richardson was bad. Again, he was playing better, if not the same as every other QB on this list before he went down. Probably better than what CJ Stroud was at the beginning, and certainly better than what Trevor Lawrence was playing in the very beginning. So I don't even want to hear it. I'll double down. I'll say it once again. Anthony Richardson 2024 will be better than all y'all's QBs.
Dude,
Derek,
Anthony
I ain't
Richardson
even
played.
mad about it.
Derek, Anthony Richardson played one entire NFL game.
And he has more touchdowns than what Will Levis had in 6.
Okay, so we're comparing him to a bad Tennessee Titans team right now. We're comparing him to a real winner.
Again, freak injuries happen, man. I don't know why it's such a big thing. Like, a rookie quarterback had a freakish injury, and it sucks. I mean, we should be talking more about it sucks that Anthony Richardson does not get to play against CJ Stroud more, or against Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville, or against Will Levis in the sweep that we had against them. Either way, okay? So that's what we should be talking about here. If y'all want to say that Anthony Richardson won't have a long career in the NFL, that's fine. That's all we're good for here. But at the end of the day, if we're saying that Anthony Richardson is the worst just simply because he hasn't played enough, then promise me, when he plays 16, 17 games next year, and when he's putting up better numbers than all of yours, then I want a written apology from all of you. Okay? It's okay.
I'll give it to you because that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
All right.
I love this show. I sincerely do. But guys, listen, one final game. I would say perhaps the most shocking upset of the NFL season. Titans Rossi. First off, thank you for your service. What were your thoughts?
Ain't on shit.
I mean, I was completely, obviously blown away. We were doing a stream of the game. I was blown away that we hung with them. And I said this before the game. I thought we would hang in there until half just because the Titans do that. Like, they do that against teams like this. Mike Vrabel, he's, say what you will about him. A lot of Titans fans want him out of there, but he gets the team up, especially when they're huge underdogs like that. He plays on it. But I really thought we would maybe keep them close to the half, and then the Dolphins would run away with it. But when Tyreek Hill went out, their entire offense sputtered. And I said this before the game. I mean, look at what they have on offense. They got Tyreek Hill, and Waddle has the majority of their yards and everything as far as receiving yards. And when Hill went out, it completely just crashed. I mean, they couldn't do anything. But credit the Titans defense for stepping up. I mean, we had Jeffrey Simmons out, Christian Fulton out, our starting corner. We had a lot of people out of this game. We had guys, a guy named Throckmorton, the last name Throckmorton in there playing guard. His first start with us, I guess. Or no, he came in there for Brunskill and played very well. And the offensive line held up, and I was super shocked. And, we go down 27-13. There's that the guy fumbles the punt. He like bats it down. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And it was the first time that I'd seen Mike Vrabel actually get into a player's face on the sidelines. I was shocked by it. And then the next play, they do this stupid pitch to Henry, goes over his head, and it's 27-13. And you're thinking, oh, well, that's it. Good effort, Titans. You did what you could. And Will Levis showed up today. Like, we can talk all we want about Anthony Richardson, woulda, coulda, shoulda. The point is, he's not playing. We don't know what he can do. We don't know. Will Levis, I don't know if you saw it, Derek, but Will Levis laid the boom down on Jalen Ramsey like he was nothing. And the way that he's playing football right now, you got to give the guy credit. He is the only reason this offense is able to move the football. Derrick Henry's not doing nothing, and it's not a knock on Henry, but they can't run the ball successfully with Henry. Will Levis is the only thing right now that is keeping the Titans offense moving, and DeAndre Hopkins, and you sprinkle in a few. For a rookie quarterback, and he didn't have, being a second round pick, he doesn't have the expectation that Anthony Richardson had on him. I get that and everything like that. But at the same time, I think that these two guys, and I'm not hating on Richardson. I think Richardson is going to be a good quarterback, but I think Will Levis can be just as good, if not better, than Richardson. He's NFL ready. He's got a quick release. He can move the ball. He can move out of the pocket. As long as he's accurate, and he's throwing the ball well, he can be a darn good quarterback in this league.
You gotta listen, as a guy who just lost his quarterback, I'm gonna tell you right now, Rossi, I don't love how much Will Levis is getting hit. He's getting very lucky. Honestly, these last two games, that dude's been taking some massive shots and unnecessary ones at that. Just ask Andrew Luck how that went down after several years, taking all those hits and not being smart with your body. I'm telling you, dude, it's fun. It's flashy right now for Titans fans, I'm sure. But I'm telling you what, man, it's going to get him in trouble as time goes along if he keeps taking those shots, because it's just not worth it, man.
And so, Derek, I do want to hear a bit more about your overall take, all right, about that Jets game. But I do need just a quick announcement, guys. We are so close to 200 likes and also 2,000 subscribers. So say, for example, you're just sitting there lurking in the chat, all right? Definitely go ahead and subscribe, because we are live every single Tuesday at 7 p.m., 6 p.m. EST, all right? You obviously don't want to miss another episode going into it. And by the way, listen, we're trying to build a massive community in here. If you are new, please do us a favor and introduce yourself in the chat and let us know what team you are representing. Let's go ahead and dive in, but let's hit a super chat, and then we're going to get the rest of the takes and then dive right in. We have quite a few right here. I'm on you, Ruben. And because I support UCF Jaguar, Trevor Lawrence is him, making it damn work. And then, oh my God, we have a new one from Grod34, $20. Thank you so much. We sincerely appreciate the love and support. Honestly, and so Anthony Richardson might be the best quarterback in the division if healthy. But without him, I don't see them going to the playoffs this year. Even with their schedule, Bills will continue the greatest story ever told. Yes.
Man.
Yes.
Not if the Colts have anything to say about it, but I do agree with that first part of that statement. I appreciate
it.
Yes,
man.
Sir.
Holy hell. Mafia needs to send wings to Levis's house.
Why did y'all do that like you did to Dalton a few years ago? Yeah.
I will not lie to you. Listen, I was looking for his charity, all right, because I want to Bills Mafia and throw some things his way. Dan, Can we get TD to step up to the podium? Titans have a roast session for him. I know it's funny that he decided not to show up and host this episode today, didn't he? Anyway, Derek, your thoughts on the Titans?
I was just like everyone else, bro. I was like everyone else. I turned that game off when it was a 2-touchdown lead for Miami at the end of that game. I thought there was no way. And then sure enough, they did it. And you know what? Rossi, I will apologize to you, man. I will apologize to you. I should have been more understanding that this was probably a trap game. It was one of those. Miami felt they were on top of the world, up there with that number 1 seed. They're in Miami. Everything was going good for them. And then at the end of the day, I mean, Tennessee, they play smash mouth football, man. And I don't think that that's something that the Miami Dolphins can handle, especially with some of the injuries that they've had dealt with over the last couple of games. And early in the game, obviously, Mostert was banged up a little bit. And then Tyreek Hill was out for a good chunk of the game. Waddle got banged up early in the game as well. So they were losing everyone. And then they lost their offensive lineman. They were losing everyone. So it was definitely not a good one for the Miami Dolphins, who, once again, like I said, the Tennessee Titans, they just ran it down their throats. And you just try not to make the mistakes. And, Will Levis, despite Will Levis trying to do his best Carson Wentz impression of throwing an interception to a defensive lineman at the 5-yard line and ends up going for a pick 6. Obviously, you got to get that stuff out of there. But, yeah, it was a good game from Will Levis. I thought that they were able to move the ball a lot more efficiently in the second half. And like I said, you just had to take what they gave you, and it could have gotten out of control very quickly, but just goes to show you right now, the Titans are sitting there and they're like, we have nothing to lose. That's the way this team's playing right now. And that's dangerous for when you're playing against teams that have everything to lose. And that's what the Dolphins were in right there. And, it's the same thing for the Texans that you got coming up and a few other things. Y'all don't have anything to lose, and that's how y'all playing, and that's dangerous, like I said, for any other team that does have something. So really great game there for Tennessee. Way to pull it out.
And so super quick from Dalton and Ruben, last thoughts.
Yes, so we have 4 different personalities on here, right? We have Titans Rossi, who is a realist. We have Derek and Ruben, who are both dreamers, and you have me. I'm the truth teller. Okay, I told you guys last week that the Titans were going to beat the Dolphins, and everybody laughed at me. Nobody believed me. Even the moderator told me that wasn't going to happen, and even Titan Rossi didn't believe it. I said the Titans were going to win, and it was going to be a Will Levis masterclass, and it happened. Okay, so that's all I got to say about that one. I mean, the reason why I said that was because, look, the Titans' offense has been bad, and then they went out and put up 28 points against the Colts. So I said, okay, this offense actually has some life. And it's kind of fun watching like Will Levis and D-Hop almost get into fist fights while he puts up over 100 receiving yards. So it's a funny kind of dynamic over there. But hey, man, like Will Levis is out there having fun, and the offense is finally moving, and they got some pieces on the defense. Didn't surprise me one bit that this game turned out the way it is. And if we're being honest with ourselves, I don't think any team in the AFC right now really feels great about themselves besides maybe the Ravens. So find a way to get into these playoffs, and it should be a really, really fun playoff over here in the AFC.
And Ruben.
Hey, man, if you're a Titans fan, you put some mayo in your coffee this morning after last night. Dude, shout out to Will Levis, man. I think, he showed a ton of grit, showed that he can make mistakes, throw a pick 6, and he could mess up a pitch to Derrick Henry, but still put you in a position to win the football game. I think 7 different Tennessee Titans caught a ball from Will Levis. When he runs with a purpose, right? Almost truck Jalen Ramsey and put you in positions to win. Then I love the Tennessee defense really swarming at the end and getting to Tua. A great win by the Tennessee Titans. Shocked everyone.
Death, taxes, and the Dolphins falling apart in December. Once again, thank you for your service. Ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of more super chats, and then we're going into the
man.
Because we have a divisional, and then Trevor Lawrence is him. once again dropping his paycheck. We appreciate you, my friend. CJ Stroud.
Dude.
Without Tank Dell, 6 for 12, 28 passing yards, 56.3 passer rating. Cold.
If CJ Stroud balls out against the Titans without Tank, without Nico, without Schultz, I am going to be toxic in here. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to be as toxic as Trevor Lawrence's family.
If he even plays, right? He's in concussion protocol.
If he even plays.
So
hey, if it's Mills Mafia, it's worse. Oh, my God. Do not let Davis Mills beat the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, my God. TD is on the burner account, lurking. And then Joseph is saying stocking stuffer for Tennessee fans from the Mafia. Rest in peace, Wycheck.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yep, indeed. Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, week 14 is the book. Week 14 is in the books, and week 15 is on the way, and we have quite a few interesting games to recap, including a divisional matchup. But I do need to come out, and I do need to announce our proud sponsor of today, and that just so happens to be the best sports book on the face of the planet, and that would have to be BetUS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down into BetUS, we are legitimately talking about your go-to place when it comes into money lines, point spreads, and even those classic over-unders. Now, with BetUS, all right, guys, you can find that link right in our description. And just by using that link, you can get 125% match of your initial deposit. Say, for example, you were to put down $100, then boom, you have 225. So you can go on ahead and bet on your favorite team, perhaps making the playoffs, maybe going ahead and play around with that prop builder that they have within BetUS as well. It is the proud sponsor of Roundtable Sports and the AFC South Roundtable, and a great way to show some love. Supporting our sponsors over here is the exact same way of supporting this show. Definitely go on ahead and check out BetUS. Gentlemen.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
And some of the absolute easiest payouts and some of the best customer service in the game, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, like I mentioned previously, here are the odds to win the AFC South. You still have the Jacksonville Jaguars at minus 500. And look at them damn Titans, baby. Plus 15,000. Now, those are some odds, man. Those are some odds there, Titans. Ozzy. Those are some odds. You have the Indianapolis Colts and the Texans, in case you wanted to play around with that. And then all of these games, particularly the Colts and the Steelers, the divisional matchup right between the Titans and the Texans. As Ruben said, they're going to rip that Oilers emblem off of their jerseys at the end. Certainly excited to discuss that. And then I would say a game that I am thrilled to watch, Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You see the spreads, you see the over-unders, you see the money lines. Go on ahead and check out BetUS.
Yo, Dan, go back to that the AFC South division winners one real quick.
Let's take a look.
So if you guys want to sit here and be like objective about this thing, so the Jaguars are plus 500 to win the AFC South. So if you guys want to, that basically means if you put down $100, you're going to win $20. So if you guys want to treat a tender date to a free 4-piece nugget at Chick-fil-A, go ahead and throw $100 down on the Jaguars win the AFC South, because that, according to BetUS right now, is a complete lock.
Joke's on you. It's not a 4-piece, it's a 5-piece.
Okay, 5-piece.
Oh, man.
I know Derek has a lot of tender dates at Chick-fil-A, apparently.
Put it on the Houston Texans.
So who says inflation's that bad? Anyway, all right, so let's go on ahead and knock this out. I do want to start off with the Colts game, okay? The Colts are playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, who many have believed were the worst 7-4 team in the history of the NFL at one point. Derek, what are your thoughts on this game, and how are the Colts going to come out on top?
Well, I mean, it is no doubt that the Pittsburgh Steelers are struggling. I think I read this correctly. They are the first team with an above 500 record to lose to two teams back to back, or even just two teams in general that had that were 8 games below 500 in the same season. So they definitely have not played well right now. The Indianapolis Colts are looking to try to bounce back from such an abysmal performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. And now you know, because you lost, and now you don't have any room for error when it comes to that. You know, you may not be able to lose a game for the remainder of the year in order to keep your spot. I still think we can lose one game and still make it, but it ultimately depends on who that is. And it's going to be very important. These games matter now more than anything. Indy's going to have a better game plan. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to miss a ton of guys. From what I'm understanding is TJ Watt and Highsmith both might be out for this game because they're both in protocol as of Monday. And of course, we know Kenny Pickett's not playing. It will be Mitch Trubisky once again. So if you want to look at what they just played like against the New England Patriots, and that team is facing us, then Indy has a very good chance, regardless of how bad we played last week. We're going to get some of our guys back. We're going to have a better game plan. And hopefully Indy can win against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, if I'm not mistaken, have actually beaten us 9 out of the last 10 times that we've played them, regardless of location. This definitely is a big one for Indy, and I think we come out on top.
All right, gents, around the table, the panel, quick take and a final score prediction. Dalton, starting off with you.
So quick take. I don't like the Steelers, or I don't like the Colts, but I don't like the Steelers even more. So I think the Colts win this one. I'll go 28-17.
Cool. All right, Ruben, you?
Yeah, I think we'll just see, going to see the Steelers just lose, just the rest of the season. I think Colts win this game 21-10.
All right, Rossi, it's on you, brother.
Yeah, I think you look at the way that the Steelers, they've lost to New England, Arizona, pretty much back to back, and I think the Colts are gonna get a win here, and I say the Colts 20-24, the Steelers 10.
And so we didn't even get your final score prediction, Derek.
Yeah, I'll go 24. I'll go 24-17, as much as I hate to say it's that close, but I think 24-17.
And chat, do us a favor and give your final score prediction for the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Super interesting. Let's go ahead and check out. Oh, Steelers 35, Colts 5. Okay. That's the field goal and the safety. Very, very intriguing. All right, guys, I do want to save the divisional matchup for last. So Dalton, all right, like I said, I'm very excited about this game. And by the looks at your schedule, this seems to be like your last, really nail biter. Thoughts on the Ravens and your Jacksonville Jaguars?
Yeah, look, the Jaguars' backs are against the wall right now. We lost 2 in a row, so the Jaguars had to come out here and play a good game. And it's another primetime one, man. The Jaguars hadn't had a Monday Night Football game in 12 years, and they went out and blew it. They haven't had a Sunday Night Football game in 15 years. So the Jaguars had to come out ready for this one. They were kind of getting bullied the last couple games. But, one thing going on with the AFC is nobody wants to hold on to that number 1 seed. Everybody just wants a hot potato it to the next team. I'm going to say the Jaguars win this one. I'm going to say we win this one. How about 24-20? Go Jags, baby.
Oh! All right, Ruben, what you got to say about that one? Final score prediction, quick take.
Look, man, I need Jacksonville to lose if I want to keep my playoff hopes alive. I am going to go Baltimore Ravens 24-21.
Titans Rossi, what you got, baby?
I'm going to go with the Jags on this one, man. I think they're going to bounce back. It's at home, so I think they're going to bounce back, man. I'm going to say the Jags 24, Baltimore 21.
Derek, what you got?
Everything in me wants the Jags to lose this, but I think this is the trap game for the Ravens here. They just came off of a very close one against the Rams in Baltimore. There's just something about playing in Jacksonville, man. I think they're going to figure it out. I think this is the one where 3 AFC South opponents win this week. I'm going with the Jags here too. Give me 27-23 Jags over the Ravens.
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. And chat, as always, definitely go ahead and put your final score predictions in there. I've certainly seen some biased takes, definitely some wishful thinking on that game like we did for the first game that went through. But wow, we have a new super chat. And by the way, y'all have been so generous on this episode today. We sincerely appreciate that. Ty Kendall, Titans win, Colts win, Jags win. This is the time of the year where the Ravens start collapsing, but also don't be surprised if the Steelers play well. This is the type of game they bullshit their way into a W.
That is facts.
I have never seen a professional football team fall ass backwards into as many wins as they have this year. All right. That is good old Pittsburgh Steeler football. And ladies and gentlemen, as we have said before we dive into this divisional real fast, we are so damn close to 2,000 subscribers right now. 1,960. So say, for example, you haven't smashed that subscribe button. Please go on ahead and do that, guys. We are live every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. EST. You don't want to miss it. The divisional matchup, boys. All right. There's obviously some heat right now when it comes down into the Titans having the audacity of wearing your old logo of what your city used to represent. And as I think Ruben has said in the past, that they haven't necessarily had. No, never mind. That was a Colt situation. But onward. Anyway, Ruben, all right, half of your team is in body bags right now. You also have CJ Stroud that's in concussion protocol, possibility he might not play. So your thoughts on this game? Are you nervous at all? Let's talk about it.
Well, the confidence level right now is around a 6. I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback Sunday. Is it going to be CJ Stroud? Is it going to be Davis Mills? If CJ Stroud is playing the football game, my confidence goes to a 10. I think any game that CJ Stroud is playing in, we could win. It is going to be fun to see how we handle the run game. It's been horrible all year. You need to give the ball to Devin Singletary. But also, this game is personal for Houston. That love you blue, that beautiful red, white, and baby blue used to belong in the H. And like I mentioned before, back then, even the cop cars had on the love you blue. It is a statement here in Houston. I talked to the owners earlier during the season at training camp, Mr. Cowan and Hannah McNair. They were like, oh, that is petty for them, to wear it against us. With that being said, man, this is an important game, not only because of the uniforms, but because of our playoff hopes. Right now, we are 3rd in the AFC South. You need to win out these last 4 games. And it starts with this week against Tennessee, whether it's CJ Stroud or Davis Mills. This is a must-win game. We don't know who's going to be catching the ball. Is Nico Collins going to be out or not? But I do have faith in this Houston Texans defense. They have been known to bounce back after getting, pretty destroyed by other quarterbacks in the past.
And so give me your final score prediction.
With our injuries, man, I'm going to go ahead and say 17-14 Houston Texans. I still think it is a really close football game. We've been playing in close football games all year, except for last week, of course, against the Jets.
Oh my God. Titans Rossi, does Will Levis pull off another miracle? What do you got? What's your take?
Will Levis is he's riding high right now, and he said after the game, we just beat a team like Miami. We feel like we could beat any team in the league. Obviously, with the injuries to the Texans, it could be a perfect storm for them this Sunday. And I will say, the last time the Titans donned the Oiler uniforms, it was against Atlanta. Will Levis, his first start, he came out, torched the Falcons. They completely destroyed them. I do really believe that for whatever reason, them wearing these jerseys gives them, I don't know, just it gives them more confidence for whatever reason. I look, as far as the whole Oiler, the jersey thing with the, I think Amy trying to go to the legal route was kind of silly personally. Obviously Houston does deserve some of the credit when it comes to the Oilers and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, we have the rights right now, and that's what we're doing. And I do think that the Titans are going to win this game. I do. And even with Stroud or Mills in there. I think the Titans are going to pull it out, and I think it's going to be a super close game. It's going to go down to the wire, and I just think the Titans are going to get them this time around. And I'm going to say the Titans 24, the Texans 21.
Mm.
And so are the Titans technically, mathematically eliminated from the playoffs?
No, they're not.
Oh,
No.
Not according to
taken
Bet
out.
US.
Oh,
They're
so
like
you're-
what, plus 20,000?
I think it's if they lose one more game, then they are officially out.
We'll put
But
the
if they
nail in the
win out,
coffin
then
this
they-
Sunday. We'll put the nail in the coffin this Sunday. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that, boys.
Hey, that or it
If
could
the
be the greatest story
Titans-
ever told.
If the Titans, beat the Texans, they got Seattle at home. They could win 2 games here and be 7-8.
Oh.
and then sweep
mean-
Ruben. Is that right?
I don't think they're going.
I love
don't
this
think,
hate. I love it. I love it.
I
Just
don't think
wait.
they're going to win out or anything, but I mean, they would still technically be in it at 7-8. I mean, see what happens. There's so much parity right now in the AFC, so I don't know.
All right. Well, Derek, what is your short thoughts on the game and final score prediction between these divisional rivals?
I hate picking a team that just came off an emotional win against a team like the Dolphins did. But listen, if you don't have CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, or Nico Collins in this game, I don't see a way that the Texans are going to be able to ground and pound with the Tennessee Titans the way the Titans typically do against the Texans. I'm going with Tennessee 2 in a row. I'm going to go ahead and make it a 21-14 win for the Titans.
All right, Dalton. Last but not least, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't believe CJ Stroud plays because, dude, that look. I mean, there's concussions, concussions, and that one looked really bad. And then so it might be Davis Mills out there, and look, like Noah Brown is no Tank Dell. I mean, he's no receiver to fill in there, and like Dalton Schultz might be out too. They're just, the Texans are one of those teams that look, they have pretty decent top end talent, but depth is razor thin, and that's kind of how it goes with teams like that are built like that. I mean, right now, the Texans weren't necessarily built to make a run this year. So commonly, your depth is going to be great. So there's too much unknown right now and we all know like Davis Mills is not great. So with the red hot Titans team playing at home, and the jersey thing is a level of petty that I'm honestly here for. So I'll say that the Titans win 24-17.
Oh, damn, Ruben. Damn, man. All right. Well, hey, guys, you know what? That's going to be week 15. All right. So there's certainly quite a few games to be looking forward to. And as always, definitely sound off in the chat and give us your final score predictions between the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were just talking about what team we thought that were going to win these respective games. But say, for example, that we're gambling men and women. All right. Obviously, we always like taking a look at what the players are going to do. So everyone on Roundtable Sports, we like to play with this little app called Sleeper Picks. This is hands down the #1 best player prop platform on the market today. And it's super easy. Literally all you do is just bet against the numbers, especially when it comes into it. So say, for example, that your favorite quarterback has a number of 250 pass yards. Really, all you need to do is just guess over or under. And just sit in the lab and try and cook up an absolute perfect parlay. That's exactly what this app does. And some of the payouts are absolutely insane. The second that you sign up for this, link is in the description. As I speak, they're matching 100% of your initial deposit all the way up to $100. And gentlemen, where it stands right now, so Derek, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put the pressure on you, because all of these games are going to be released tomorrow. But luckily, since it seems like the Pittsburgh and the Indianapolis game is going to be the easiest to predict, that game is available. All right. So we're going to cook up a parlay, and this is on my personal account. So if I lose, I'll certainly have a word with you. However, let's go on ahead and let's cook something up real fast so we can tell the people. It's the NFL right now. We have Mitch Trubisky lines, Zach Moss lines, Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman. Tell me what you like. I got Minshew here as well. What do you got for me?
I definitely, if you're going with Michael Pittman, I think Michael Pittman definitely is the statistical guy that you definitely want to look into. He has had 9, I think it's actually 10 games now where he's had at least 8 catches on the year. And this guy is good for either 9 or 10 catches pretty much every single game because he's basically the main part of this offense right now. 9 catches, 100 yards. I mean, that definitely sounds like something that I would definitely want to go with if I'm Michael Pittman here.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we got Michael Pittman right now over 76.5 receiving yards. He's crushed that for the past 5 games. Is that safe?
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe.
Interesting. All right. What about Minshew? And so over under interception.
I don't know. I definitely see Minshew throwing at least an interception here. Do I see 2? I don't think so because he's gotten pretty good at limiting multi-turnovers, but he's good for 1 a game usually.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and we'll take a Minshew. And for some reason, my phone screen doesn't seem to be cooperating, ladies and gentlemen, but we're going to put a couple of more right here. Gents, let's see what else we have. We have a Zach Moss situation. Over 73.5 rush yards.
No, under. Hit that under.
Hit that under.
I don't even think he's gotten 73 rushing yards in the last 2 weeks. And he's even with the loss of TJ Watt and Highsmith, if that indeed seems to be the case, they still got Cameron Hayward in there. We're still missing our right tackle. He's going under.
So I'll tell you what, I do like the Mitch Trubisky over interception as well. I think that's really standing out.
Indy has had 18 straight games of a turnover at least. So
all right. Hey, that's a lock, baby. And chat, please feel free to chime in if you see anything that we need to include on this one. And same thing goes for you, Ruben, Dalton, and Titans Rossi. Let me know what you got here. We got George Pickens over 47.5. That guy is probably criminally underutilized on a regular basis. What do you think about that, Derek?
I don't know. Our best corner most likely will be back this week. I don't know because that one's really tough. I think we're going to have some of our best corners back this week. I don't know how much you trust. That's the problem with me. I don't know how much you trust Mitch Trubisky to find George Pickens. I don't know. I can't tell you.
Trubisky and Pickens aren't good together for some reason. Like they do not go well on the field together.
And so as I look at it as well, this man has not sniffed the end zone in the past 4 weeks. So I think taking the under anytime touchdown is certainly going to be something that I like. And then what about your tight end, Derek Granson? 16.5 receiving yards.
I can't even tell you, man. I couldn't even tell you because, I mean, it's strange. The only reason he's getting any looks at that is simply because 2 weeks ago against the Tennessee Titans, he had like 70 receiving yards against them. He did have 17 last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that there definitely will be at least one play where Kylan Granson will get dialed up. I would say it's safe to hit the over on this one. I think a couple.
Hey, listen, what about good old Gay? Matt Gay.
When it comes to kicks,
field goals made.
1.5 field goals got to be higher on that.
Last week he missed 2 of them. So I'm not feeling confident in how many attempts they're going to get. So I wouldn't take anything on that one. Okay. I can tell you for Josh Downs.
Okay.
Again, I don't know, dude. That's rough again because 1 week Josh Downs has the best week of his entire rookie season, and then the next week he's vanished. So I don't know what to tell you with that one.
So maybe like we'll take the under on receiving yards.
Let me check something real quick. Just so that way I can kind of see like what the trend is here.
Yeah.
As I say, he has only sniffed he's only sniffed 43 yards one time over the last 5 games that he's played in.
Yeah.
The offense has not looked good for Indy. So, I don't know. That's tough. But, I mean, if you're a betting man, I would say if you're following the trend, you probably go under.
Let's hammer the under right here. And, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 7-leg ticket, as you can see. And some of these tickets go up as high as 100x your money. But as you can see, we have our ticket here. And then I'm going to bet $10, which would essentially get me a winning of $333.50. And I'll tell you what, I'm putting my money where my mouth is right now, boys. I'm going on ahead. And Derek, we may have a word. We may have a word, but it is successful, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think, and make sure you get in on the action. Make sure you get in on the action on Sleeper Picks, guys. Like I said, they're matching 100% of your initial deposit all the way up to $100. All right, so definitely get in the game, and always tweet at us and send us over your tickets so we have more things to talk about. Now, guys, if you just ended up getting into this stream, you may have missed that we were giving away some merchandise. We showed you a bunch of absolutely beautiful graphic tees for all 4 of your favorite teams on this, but we are giving away either a beer mug or we are also giving away a coffee cup. So let's go ahead and pull up the comment section of that first video and let's see how many comments we received. Let's go on ahead. Let's check this out. No one entered. No one wants free merch. No one wants. No.
What the hell, guys?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Listen, I thought that pint glass was absolutely beautiful. I thought that it was absolutely
pint
beautiful.
glass is amazing. I would love it right now.
If I don't get that pint glass in my life, then my life is not worth it anymore. Okay.
Rick, do me a favor. Go comment, when enter that contest. All my swarming Houston Texans fans, go make sure you get that pint.
Yo, T-Law, Tim, go in there and leave a comment for me, okay? You deserve it.
So I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, since that is what the contest is going to be. I'll tell you what, we will announce the winner at the very beginning of next week's show. So make sure if you are watching the replay of this or you just have heard what Dalton has requested you do or what Ruben has asked you to do, definitely go on ahead and put that comment and we will announce the winner immediately at the beginning of the first show today. And then definitely check out roundtablesports.shop, guys. We have some incredible graphic tees. I love the CJ Stroud tee. I love the Anthony Richardson tee. I'll be honest with you. Say, for example, that I wasn't such a staunch Bills fan. I'd probably rock one of these myself because they are just that absolutely beautiful. CJ Stroud graphic tee.
Beautiful.
Looking good. Heavyweight, high quality. Will Levis, the hero of this stream right now, looking solid, beautiful. One thing I will say, all right, I just learned this in my 32 years of life. Don't dry shirts like this. All right, don't dry them. All right, wash them, hang dry them. Took me a long time to realize that, but it's such high quality material, guys. This is no run of the mill cheap shirt that looks like shit after the first time you wear it. All right, this is what you're looking for. That Trevor Lawrence is looking absolutely tight. Roundtablesports.shop, and of course, Anthony Richardson. Go ahead and check all those guys out. Definitely always something. And then, of course, with all of our other merch as well, that nice little puffball winter hat, coffee cup, the beer mug, the pint glass, and then also just the hoodie, just in case you wanted to support your favorite show that covers the AFC South. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a couple of more super chats, and then we will let you get back to business, but smash that like button on your way out, please. Definitely one of the best things. And the last super chat of the evening, we have Izzy26 Blessed saying the Jaguars are trash. Trevor is trash. Go Texans. Sup, Ruben.
H-Town till we drown, Izzy. H-Town till we drown.
Hey, you're being nice there. He says Jaguars are trash. Trevor is trash at Go Texans. Sup, Look, I don't know what kind of stuff's going on in that Houston public school system, but I would recommend.
Bro, your guy has a picture of little baby hiding behind covers.
English.
Unbelievable.
My God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I definitely loved being the host of this. I am jealous. You will have your regular host back next week, but in case he can never make it, you'll be seeing myself. Guys, great show. Sincerely appreciate all of your hard work over here at Roundtable Sports. And for the AFC South Roundtable, we'll see you next week. Deuces.